Hey you guys. Hey. Okay, so this is another prophetic dream I need to reshare with you guys. I had this dream on September the 8th. Well, I shared this dream. I shared this dream originally on September the 8th of 2022. And this is another dream that God was bringing up, the final trimester. Okay, this one is called the final trimester. And this is one that he brought up for me to share because this is in season for some people. Oftentimes he relates parts of our journey to giving birth, right? A lot of y'all may have been dealing with a lot of different things back to back. Some of y'all may have been undergoing testing as well. Jesus is Lord. But yeah, you guys, this is just another dream that's in season that he wanted me to share, okay? So this one is the final trimester, and I'm going to let y'all listen to the dream. Hey, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. My name is Tiffany, and God normally shares prophetic dreams with me, and this is one that he wanted me to share with you guys. Y'all have so much to share. I'm trying my best to get it all out right now. So, welcome back. Welcome to the new subscribers. I'm glad to have y'all. This dream that y'all, it's a lot. This dream that God gave me, this one, he told me to call, I think, the final trimester. And I believe he subtitled it that God is changing your story. He's changing your story, okay? I'm gonna jump right in there, y'all, because it's a lot. So basically in this dream, I was watching a TV show. And it was a show I had been watching before, and we were in a new season. It was a new season of this particular show. So it's like the first episode, a whole new season. And I'm watching the girl, the main character that I know from the previous season in this show. And she's walking with this guy. So she's walking with this guy, and this guy is not her husband, per se. So in the previous season she was in, I saw her with her husband. In this new season, she was walking with a different guy. And so I was wondering, did they get rid of her husband? Is somebody else playing his role? Or what trying to figure out what the case was. Because you know how sometimes you watch a TV show, or they do this in movies a lot, where they do part 2 or part 3s of movies, and they change the character, and it's a whole new character on the next movie or the next show or whatever, and they try to pretend like you don't know it was somebody else playing that role. And so anyway, so it was something like that. So I'm like, is that, supposed to be, the guy she's walking with, was that supposed to be her husband? But anyways, long story short, I had a knowing that her husband just hadn't arrived yet. That's what it was. So she was walking with this guy, though, and the guy she was walking with, he adored her. He adored her so much, and I could just feel all his feelings for her. But he wasn't like, that husband or whatever. So, but anyway, so she's walking with this guy who adored her, and I'm watching the show, and I go from watching the show till suddenly I'm inside the show. I'm now playing her role. And once I'm in the show with the guy that adored her, and I could feel his feelings even more, I'm pregnant all of a sudden. I'm pregnant. And the pregnancy went by so fast. It's like 1 minute I know I'm pregnant, then the next minute I'm in my final trimester. My stomach is out there, and I got the pregnancy waddle and everything. And I'm just like, oh, that final trimester, you don't even want to do too much walking. And so I'm walking with the guy, and we end up going I end up in this changing room. I go in the dressing room, like I guess we were in a mall or some shopping place or whatever, and I just end up in this changing room. So I go in the changing room. He waits outside for me outside the changing room, and basically that's the dream. I go in the changing room. He's waiting outside the changing room for me, and then this girl comes by while I'm in the changing room, and he's like, "Whew, nice dress," to the girl, right? And then basically that's the dream. The dream ends with me being in the changing room and him waiting outside the changing room, and then him complimenting this girl's dress, right? And so when I woke up, I know I didn't know how to feel. So basically the guy in the dream was God. The guy in the dream was God. And I just felt how much he adored me, how much love he had for me. So it was a new season. And though I didn't see the woman's that I was playing, I didn't see her husband there in that new season, not in the beginning, but I knew he was coming. I knew he was coming because she was expecting too, right? And so what God basically showed me in this dream, that a lot of us are in our final trimester. A lot of us are in our final trimester, and he's walking with you. He is there with you, and he still adores you. He still adores you. Y'all, I have not been pregnant in a minute. And so I felt it all over again. You know how it's uncomfortable. You have that waddle, you swollen. I was feeling all that. And it just was very uncomfortable. But he was right there with me the whole time. And he adored me so much. And when I woke up, and I was like, who's that? When I was trying to figure out who was that guy at first, because he adored me. He had all these great, wonderful feelings for me. But then he was complimenting that other girl's dress. But I wasn't mad because, you know, ladies, if your man compliments somebody else, you know, dress and stuff, you feel some type of way, but in a certain way, right? And so it was okay though, because it was God and he loves us all the same. But what he was basically showing me was right now he's changing some things. He's trying to put the finishing touches on us. We're clearing out things that need to be cleared out, healing what needs to be healed, finalizing our healing, just having us walk into who he created us to be. A lot of us, he's been calling us to our identity. And in order for us to get to that place, he has to clear out a lot of things, right? So I'm not going to go too deep on that. There was another dream that I shared dealing with that, with some of the healing process that he was showing me, from cleansing to taking control of your mind to healing. But basically what I just want to share on this dream for confirmation for those who are in their final trimester. And this is something I heard in the spirit too, a couple days after I had this dream in the spirit, right before I woke up. God, I think I asked God how much longer in a dream, and he said just a few more hours. He said just a few more hours. And when I woke up on the clock, I saw the time 3:33. And God's been showing me 33s a lot too, which is a confirmation of his promises. And so, but anyways, what he was showing me was, if God has been changing something, if he's been trying to change things, like maybe he's giving you stuff to work on, right? Maybe he's been like things in you that you need to change and work on. Maybe you need to forgive somebody. Maybe it's some areas he's been pointing out that he wants you to work on some more. Work on that. Be working on that. Okay? This is a part of the final process. In a dream, I kind of had a knowing when I came out of that changing room, I was going to be different, in that basically I would give birth shortly after that. I was in my final trimester. I was ready to pop, but I had to go in that changing room first. Okay? So this was just, I just wanted to, I'm trying to make sure I say this correctly. Whatever God is trying to work on in you, stop fighting it. If you're fighting it, don't fight it. When God was gearing me towards listening to the forgiveness series with Pastor Mike and I have a lot going on right now. So at first I didn't feel like that was the best use of my time. I wanted to give my time to what was in front of me. But God was directing me in a different direction, right? So initially I fought it until I realized that it was literal instructions God was giving me to sit still and heal for a minute, even though my situation didn't look like I should be focusing on healing, right? So I'm sharing that with you to say this might not be your particular situation, but whatever God is trying to shed light on in your life, to change, to rearrange, to redirect, don't fight it, and just ask him how, and follow his directions. Okay, y'all, I'm trying to make sure I say exactly what God wants me to say, but the change has to take place. And shortly after, I felt like I was going to give birth after that. And then the woman who walked by towards the end of the dream, and he complimented, he's like, whew, nice dress. In a dream, In a dream, I saw ice come out of his mouth. Like, you know how you're in cold air and you blow and you see like the cold air, you can see it when it's cold. I saw, he said, whew, and I saw like cool air come from his mouth after he complimented the girl's dress. He said, whew, nice dress. And I saw cold air coming out of his mouth. The season will change. In that part of the dream, God was showing me the season will change after you come out. That girl had changed her clothes and her season was changing, right? The season was changing, right? And so anyways, y'all, I don't want to make this too long. I'm trying not to make my videos so long, but God is working out some things in you. So just let him work it out and just meet him wherever he is. And just follow him wherever he is, meet him wherever he is. He's changing some things in you, some things that can't go into this new season. And so this is just confirmation. If he's doing this for you and you're in your final trimester and it's uncomfortable, just work with him, flow with him, heal with him, do whatever he's telling you to do right now. Okay, y'all, this is the final hour. This is the final trimester. And when you come out, you know, when I came out of that changing room, I was ready to give birth. I was in that final trimester. Okay, y'all. So don't go against it. Don't go against it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. He's changing things that need to be changed that can't go into this new season. All right, y'all. So that was the dream. Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Okay. I just wanted to add this real quick. God was saying as well, the season is not going to change until you make that change. Okay. Like I said, the girl, her season changed when he complimented her dress. She had changed. She came out changed. Something he notated that the season is not going to change till you make a change. So again, like I was saying, whatever God is telling you to work on it. Whatever he's telling you to get rid of, get rid of. If he's giving you instructions that you still have not completed, be completing those. From my personal experience, every time I finish one set of instructions, he gives me new ones. He gives me new ones and more after that. The thing is, we have a lot coming for us. You're going to always be working, right? Some things he may give you more time to do. Other things he may want you to do it quicker. The thing is, when you don't do it at all, sometimes you hold yourself up. And if you're waiting for the right time to do it, you can't necessarily wait for the right time. I'm trying to use my words wisely because I want you to be led by God. Always be led by God. But from what he was showing me, he wants to find you working. He wants to find you working. So whether that's working on the changes that he's telling you to make inwardly, or putting your hands to whatever he's been telling you to work on. Something he showed me is when he does come through with victory, he wants to find you working. Okay. So, and then something else he showed me too, for the healing part, when he's dealing with me with healing, it's a lot of us, he separated us from people over the past years, right? He showed us people in our lives. He showed us people intentionally in our lives because he wanted to expose the lies that they had poured over our lives. He wants you to know who you are in him. It's some of us who could not see who we were in him because of all the lies we've been told about ourselves. And so as long as you had those people, those organizations, those things pouring lies into you, making you believe you were something that you weren't, stopping you from fully reaching your potential and your identity in God, you know, he needed those things removed, so he exposed them. But he did not want you to hold or hide any type of bitterness in your heart, okay? He didn't want those things or those people or those organizations to become a stumbling block for you because you are holding unforgiveness in your heart towards them, okay? You have to remember, at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. All of God's people, we have the same goal, to get as many lost souls as possible into the kingdom of heaven, into the kingdom of God. That's the goal. So even if you had a falling out with a church per se, or another member in a body, he wants you to forgive them and move forward. Have boundaries, you know. He's going to guide you in those relationships, but he's finalizing things right now. This is the final trimester. He is finalizing healing. And the final thing to healing is forgiveness that I can see. That I can see. Because forgiveness, you're letting it go. And when you let go, when you can let go of those grudges, when you can let go of the offense, God can begin to release things to you. Let go of those blessings and release them to you. But you have to let go of those things that are holding you back. Okay? From what I'm really sensing is he's finalizing things in our heart and making it right. Because your heart has to be prepared for what he's about to give you. Because if your heart is not right, he's giving you a lot. And if your heart is not prepared for it, you won't better handle it. You won't better handle it. You can get lost to these things. And God just wants to make sure your heart is in full preparation for what he's giving you. All right. So I hope I said everything. Y'all, I be trying not to make this too long, but I be trying to also make sure that I say everything that he's showing me in those dreams and the messages that he gives me as well. Okay, y'all. So I think that's it. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Hey, you guys. Okay, I want to come back and add something to this message on here. I want to correct something, or I guess kind of add something basically. So on the part where I said, when God comes through, he wants to find you working. What I should have said is when God comes through, he wants to find you obedient, okay? He wants to find you obedient. Working, obedience is I kind of related that's the same thing, because around that time, God was literally giving me a to-do list. Okay, around that time, I constantly had a to-do list from God. And how God was teaching me how to do this, at some point, after doing a couple of things on my to-do list, one thing he gave me to do was to rest. Okay, along the line of checking off the different things, he told me to share this word, share this dream, do this, do that. And then the next thing you know, he said rest. That was literally a command that he put on my to-do list. And I didn't do it at first because I thought I heard him wrong. So I was steady trying to rest. I was steady trying to work and get things done because of the situation I was in. I was steady trying to be busy, trying to, make sure I had what I needed or whatever. But literally, God had told me to rest. And he showed it to me as a command, right? He had given it to me as a command for me to add on my list of things to do. And then he made sure I knew that it was him, because he literally made me rest. Jesus is Lord, y'all. And that's a story for another day, but he literally made me rest or whatever, okay? And he made sure that I knew it was coming from him. So basically what I meant to say was he wants to find, when I say he wants to find you working, he wants to find you being obedient. For some people, rest is work. It's hard for them to rest. It's hard work for them to rest when things around them don't look the way they would like them to, right? If you're in the middle of the storm, Jesus is Lord. Jesus was in the middle of the storm and he was asleep. Now everybody else worried about this storm. Everybody else is panicking and Jesus is asleep. He is resting because he knows that all power is in his hands. All power is in his Father's hands. He already knows this. So in the eye of the storm, in the midst of the storm, he was able to rest and be at peace. So I just want to add that whoever that is for, when God comes through, he wants to find you being obedient. Obedient always brings the reward. Whatever he's told you to do, be doing it. So if he told you to rest, let him find you being obedient, which may be hard to do, may seem like hard work for some people. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're going through it and you feel like you need to be busy doing something. Everything God is going to do for us is going to be through the power and might of his hands. He's going to get the glory. His name is going to be written on it. All we have to do is obey and be obedient as little children. Just obey and be obedient, okay? All right, y'all. Love y'all so much. That was it. I just wanted to add that when God comes through, he wants to find us being obedient. All right? I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Okay, you guys also need to add this too. Yes, we forgive. We have to forgive or God will not forgive us, okay? So forgiveness is mandatory. Forgive, but continue to exercise boundaries. Continue to be led by God, okay? We forgive because above all, we love. And if we don't forgive, God won't forgive us. But continue to exercise boundaries just as God has instructed you to do so. A lot of y'all, God has y'all in an isolated place, and that can sometimes feel lonely. And sometimes it's a temptation as well to let people back in your lives that God has separated you from for a reason. It could be for a season, it could be longer than that, but whatever the case may be, continue to exercise boundaries, continue to be led by God, and continue to obey God in all things, okay? All right, y'all. Okay, that was it. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed.